It was the story of Dominica. I found the idea of a young ballerina whose life is ripped away from her and then getting sucked into quite a horrible world of espionage a really interesting story. I just think she was a really unique character. And it's a survival story, which is something I don't think you see that often in the spy genre. Typically, they're sort of mission based or very political or action and tech based. But this was a very personal, visceral story, and that's what pulled me in. Yeah, I thought of her from page one of reading the book. She and I were still finishing the last Hunger Games film, and I read the book and I pitched her the story and said, "Hey, if I got into this, would you be interested in doing something like this?" And she said, "Yeah, it sounds great." And so when we developed it, it was always with her in mind. I'd say it's a very relaxed relationship. Yeah, I mean, we'd already had three movies together before we did this, so there's definitely a comfort level, and especially dealing with the kind of content that's in this movie, it helped a lot with dealing with that. I think partially yes. I mean, I think personally, she just has to be ready to do that. I think because she and I have a good relationship and there's a trust level, I think that certainly helped. I'm not positive that she would have done it with a stranger because I think she knew that I would respect her and I would take care of her and I would protect her. And then also, when you're doing a scene on a day and you're putting a camera somewhere, if I'm a stranger, she may be like, "Whoa, what's the camera doing down there?" That makes me a little nervous. And I think she knows that I have taste and I'm not going to do anything that's going to, put her into a bad situation. Yeah, he was my first choice. I think he's one of the best working actors of that age range right now. I think he's just a phenomenal actor. But he's also comes across as very grounded and sort of the earth and also very honorable. And I wanted that in the role of Nate Nash. No, I mean, occasionally what ends up happening is it goes through the casting director. I hire a casting director. We talk about the people that I'm imagining, and then there's other people that she, throws it my way. But basically, we said, hey, let's send it to Joel. And so that got sent to his agents. But, with Jeremy Irons, I wrote an email to him. With Charlotte, I wrote an email to Charlotte that also went with the script, just talking about how much I love their work and how badly I'd want them to be a part of it. And so it varies depending on the actors. No, it was really, I think, because, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. A lot of people sort of wonder when they watch the movie about the time period of the film. And I think a lot of that just has to do with the kind of architecture and the environments that we shot in for the Moscow portion specifically. That you have the very old ornate buildings, like the Bolshoi Ballet and the Kremlin. And then there's a lot of the sort of 60s socialist kind of government housing that's there, and it starts to sort of lean into what could be period, except cars are modern, cell phones are modern, so it's present day. It just happens to be shot in some environments that make it feel period. My goal is always for a movie to feel as timeless as possible, so that if you look at it in 20 years and you look back, it doesn't feel dated by 2018 standards of fashion and hair and No, we primarily shot in Budapest. We shot a little bit in Bratislava. We had the one day in Vienna. Partly we did it because it was close to Budapest. So in the story, it sort of made sense that he could stop in Budapest on his way to Vienna. There's one of the characters that's going to Vienna. And so it just kind of happened. But what was interesting was I hadn't been back to Vienna since I was about 9 years old. So to be able to go back for the first time since I was a child, I really wanted to go to see the hospital where I was born, but I never had the time.